Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I'd like to do is take a look at three brands, and each brand has really excellent horology and also good prices. Now I'm going to look at two of the brands and see what the lowest price I can find. And one of the other brands, they're pretty low anyway, and they have some excellent movements, in-house movements. But I'll leave that up to you to find the best prices. I found one, and they're really, they're really great pricing. Now, when I say great pricing, these are under 5,000. Uh, some very much so. Now, one of the groups, there are some that are above 5,000, but not too many. All of them are definitely below 10,000, but the ones we're going to look at are very affordable, relatively speaking, and especially given quality watches. Now, the first company I want to talk about is Hermes, and in a way it sort of typifies in some ways the other companies in that while they don't have what we would call an in-house movement, they have something that in certain respects is even better, and that is they have a major interest in a company that specializes in making movements, and this is Vauchour Manufacture Fleurier, also referred to as VMF, so the movements of VMF. And so I want to take a look at these. All of these are Vauchour movements. At one time, they were using ETA and some other ones, but then once they got involved and they really wanted to up their game, so to speak, they bought into Vauchour. The first one, and I've talked about these in some references at other places, but these are the ones that I looked up. I found what the best prices were and that I could find. That doesn't mean you can't find some even better ones. Slim de Hermes. This is one that both of the watches that we're going to look at initially, the Slim de Hermes and the Arcou, both have special fonts that were made just for Hermes watches, and you can see it very clearly in the Slim de Hermes. This one I found $27.68. A place called TimePieces. I believe it's a Japanese site, but you can find it under TimePieces if you look around for it. Now the other one is called the Arcou. And the best deal I could find on this was $12.91 with the caveat, make an offer. Make an offer. This is at Chrono 24. Now, the second two from Hermes is the Hermes H08. Now, right off the bat, this was an incredibly popular watch. And for good reasons. 39 millimeters is very much of a sort of a upper end luxury sports watch, but it was made in such a way that you could change the band on that, and you could probably get away with it as certainly as an everyday office watch, but even a dress watch under certain circumstances. Now this one I found was $34.91. Like I said, these are very popular watches. Now, the last one, again, these are all with the Vauchour movements in it, is the Hermes Dressage. Dressage is something with all of the stuff you put on horses. Hermes used to make saddles and bridles and things like that, dressage. This one I found on eBay for $31.56. I've also had other things about the dressage. I think it's a great, very good deal. They also have some very interesting variations of the dressage that are more expensive. But for this one, these are all, and again, for really excellent movement. Because I've seen a lot of watches with a more familiar name that have not exactly expensive movements in them, I'll put it that way. Okay, now the next group, this one is it's classy and classic both. And this is Nomos GlashÖtte, a German company. Here, they have, they might be considered almost too honest. Where they have their caliber, the ones that they made in-house, they say in-house. The ones that were sort of made by them but weren't exactly designed and developed by them, like one called the Alpha. They don't claim it as being in-house. Take a look at their site and you can look them up. The ones that say in-house were developed from scratch at Nomos. The ones that are Alpha and some other ones, I think there's one called the 4100, I could be wrong about that, designation. 4101 is the first one, the caliber in it, and it's a DUW designation, and DUW is generally refers to ones that were made in-house, but this one I think was sort of a modified Alpha, and so they don't call it in-house. I mean, that's them, not me. But still, the Alpha, by the way, was originally a Pazoo 7001. They fixed it up, and it was an ETA 7001 because ETA bought it. So anyway, let's take a look at these. The first one I want is called the Tangente 38 date, and then it has Schlafgrün. It's a color. It's a sort of an ivy green color to it. Now, one of the things we're going to be looking at with Nomos, you're going to see a lot of white dials, and they look really boring. But the truth of the matter is, they have a variety of different colors, and the club Nomos, and again, these are all the Alpha ones, and the only ones I put up here are for the DUW. Now the prices that are shown, these are the list prices. These are the MSRP prices that are on the Nomos site. So, going further to find some good deals is not exactly hard at all. The Tangente 38 referring to 38 millimeters, is 2420, and the DUW 4101 is sort of one of those ones that they're sort of an Alpha, sort of not an Alpha, because they put a date in it. Interesting ones, hand wound. Now, this next one, the Tango mat, is caliber DUW 5001. Definitely an in-house movement. They developed it in-house from scratch. It's an automatic 3100. Now remember, these are not the best deals I could find. These are the list prices. And there are a whole lot more. I'm just sort of scratching the surface, encouraging you, go find it. I mean, if you can save $500, you can save $1,000 or $2,000 on a watch. Why not? I mean, all you got to do is look. Okay, now these next two are a couple more. Now, looking at them, they look alike, but they're not. The one on the left is a Minimatic 39 date, DUW 4601, which is a manual wind, 24. Well, it has in the date window it says 24 for the 24th of whatever month has 24, which is all of them, and it has Arabic numbers that are at 10, 12, 2, 4, and 8. Nice, clean, very easy to read watch, 3220. Again, this is the list price of this. Now the next one is a Ludwig Neomatic 39 millimeter. This one has a DUW 3001 automatic. Now this one is listed at 3840. This is the MSRP. Just by chance, I found a brand new one at Joma's shop for $22.95. So, I mean, they are available brand new at discounts on the secondary market. Now that is about almost $850 less. Same watch, brand new. If you can save 850 bucks, why not? All right, now this last brand is probably of the three is my favorite because of the horology. So many top watches have Jaeger-LeCoultre movements, or did at one time. The Holy Trinity, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin, Patek Philippe, they've all had Jaeger-LeCoultre movements at one time or another. So they started off actually as a movement company. It wasn't until later they said, well, we might as well make watches to go with it too. And so you end up with sort of one that for some reason they just haven't sort of, I might say they don't have the respect they deserve, because they are like very top drawer movements. First one is the Master Ultra Thin Reserve de March 39. I found this one on a bezel and $5,000 or make an offer. Make an offer. Always make an offer. It's crazy to say, oh, okay, I'll pay whatever you want. Or if some people are buying Rolexes from ADs who want a quote premium on some watches. I don't like that. I like good buys instead. Now here's another one. This is called a Master Geographic 38, and at the bottom down there's a little bottom, and you can set a second time zone to some time zone identified by the different cities that they have at the bottom. It has a power reserve indicator between about 11 and 9, and then at around 2 o'clock there's a little hand date, and then there's also a second date at down at 6 o'clock, so you can see the time and then the place for it. So you have dual time, hand date, $5,500. There's a place called Lux Deal Master. I don't know. You might want to contact them and see if they'll make a deal with you. But again, if you look at the MSRP on these are all 50% or less of MSRP. Take a look at the Jaeger-LeCoultre site, and their prices have popped up. So these are some, again, great movements. Now, some other ones, the Master Grand Ultra Thin. This one is, you know, instead of a Calatrava or a Patrimony or some other sort of well-known, you know, really formal dress watch or sort of executive watch, I think this is a great one for the Master Grand Ultra Thin watch, indicating more of a dress watch kind of one. 38.5 millimeters. Again, 38.74, which is about, I think, probably around a third of what the MSRP is, and then you can make an offer. Make the offer. Now, one of the most famous ones by Jaeger-LeCoultre is the Reverso. And a Reverso, believe it or not, was really the original sports watch. And the one that sort of is not a sports watch really is called a dual face. What the original one was, you flip it over and there was where there had been the glass and the time and everything was now just a solid piece of metal. So the guys playing polo could go out and play polo and flip their Jaeger-LeCoultre over, and it wouldn't break them when they got banged up. And then you flip it back and then you could tell the time. Well, they decided, well, you know, we could this would be a great way to have a dual time. And so you have this is one of the a Reverso dual face. You shows one and then you flip it and you can have another dial. Now this is sort of like a day-night kind of setup. very interesting one. Now these, the MSRP on these, I took a look at it, and they were $13,800 US. And this one I found on Chrono 24 for $63.65. So you could, I mean, this again, this is less than half of what the MSRP is. And dual face is sort of a cool one. You can use it for dual time too, very easily. Now the final two I want to look at, these are sort of my favorite kind of, really great horology. And there was a line they came out with some years ago called the Geophysic line, and this was the Geophysic year, in the 60s, I think, or even in the 50s. And so they had some of these special watches for the Geophysic year, and then they came out with a bunch of really nice watches. And again, the niceness was centered in the horology. One is called the Geophysic True Second. Now, if you look at the True Second, it's like, it's got some index lines and a little date window. And so I think, what is the big deal about this watch? Well, the big deal is so many interesting things on the inside. Now, some people don't care about that at all. I happen to. There's this, it has a jumping seconds. Now, again, this was something that they used to call these doctor watches when they had for the jumping seconds, so the doc could, do a pulse check and tick, tick, tick. As you probably know, just about every quartz watch has jumping seconds, and it's no big deal. But on a mechanical watch it is, and the mechanism they have is almost like a remontoire, because there's a little spring that is, for every second, it pushes and then is pushed back, and then it kicks again, and so you got tick, 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 tick. The rest of it, the movement is really just wonderful horology. The Geophysic Universal Time. This one is that I found, where the best price was $8,303. This was at Chrono 24. Suggest a price. Suggest a price. Always suggest a price. The MSRP on these watches is $25,000. So you have one for $8,000. It's like a third of the asking price of the MSRP. This is a watch I think I'd like to have. This is really a true world timer, and one I really like a lot. So anyway, those are the three brands, and like I said, they're brands worth exploring. And sometimes with the prices, as relatively speaking, as low as they are, like some brands like Nomos GlashÖtte, people don't even bother to look at what the pre-owned prices are, but you can still save a few $1,000 you just going to the pre-owned. Some people don't like them, that's fine, but still it's something you might want to take a look at. Anyway, that's it for today. This is an opportunity to subscribe if you like, and until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.